Hello, everyone. I'm truly excited today. I've got a legend with me, a living legend with me. He's been into Indian advertising, cinema for nearly so many decades. He has shaped many careers into global superstars of today, with over 3,500 commercials, countless jingles to his name. And he's a person who's full on into creativity and bringing storytelling with the nation coming first, to the forefront. It's truly a privilege to have Mr. Kailash Surendranath ji with me today. Sir, it's such an honor and privilege for you to come on this new episode and take out some time to do this candid chat with me. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here always.
Right. So,
I
sir,
love to share my life experiences always.
Sir, to begin with, I would like to know, when you were born, in brief, what got you into the world of creativity and advertising? Was it very natural and instinctive, or was there another career path which you wanted to choose, but you were always inclined towards creative lines? So a little bit on that in brief, sir.
Yeah, well, I think it was a bit of both because what happened was, of course, I was born in a film family, but by the time I was born, my dad's prolific career as a hero and actor singer, which was
Right.
right from 1935 to beyond that, later on even as a character actor. By the time I grew up, his career was on the wane. Now, because of that, two things influenced me. One is, of course, I got to meet a lot of technicians, a lot of film people, and of course, a lot of exposure to film all around 360 degrees. The second thing is that he was always, feeling bad about being forgotten in the film industry. And that I think is a hero syndrome.
Okay.
One day you're somebody, and the other day you're literally nobody. There are new people behind you.
Right.
So basically, I always thought that now if I do something, it has to be great. And that was the one impetus that I always had. And the second thing was that because I was surrounded by film people, and in fact, my first editor told me you were born with a celluloid spoon in your mouth. I
Right.
never had formal training, but I
Okay.
used to talk to technicians and talk to people and watch so many films. In fact, I used to, those days before video and
Yeah.
before access to any kind of
Right.
films, I used to actually trek all the way to Pune to the film archives. I made friends with Mr. Nair, who was in charge over there, and try to see all the classics because they had so many, and that was the only place that really had them under one roof.
Okay.
So I think that was. But on the other hand, I mean, I was academically good in school.
Okay.
So after I finished my ISC, which in those days was equivalent to having done 2 years of college, in the 11th standard, I did apply for IIT and I got in. And I went to IIT to Kharagpur,
Okay.
and somehow the vibe, I couldn't take it. I thought this is far too serious for me. And at that time, I was a young Bombay guy, having a ball, playing in a band, partying. And I just thought to myself that, how am I going to survive here? So I quickly came back. It hardly took me a couple of days to come back. And I joined college here, St. Xavier's College.
Okay.
And while I was in college, I started making films more to help my dad out,
Right.
more to help the family out financially.
Okay.
Because what happens is that, an actor doesn't know anything but to act.
Right.
And he's not really well versed with, making investments, finances. These are, of course, everybody is.
Right.
And he started a little production, which I took over mainly for ads through his contacts, and he had many in Bombay because he was a stalwart of Bombay. When he came from Lahore, 1935 or whenever he must have come, he became a star overnight. And he was, he had all the best contacts that you could have in the city. So I think that helped me a lot.
So you being the creative genius behind Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, I think that is a campaign which is really close to your heart as well. And, bringing so many personalities from actors to sports to singers all under one roof, and it also did not just was a campaign, it became a national rage, in terms of giving the kind of message, a positive message to our country, to never give up and, always being more patriotic. So, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was overwhelming. Honestly, in my career itself, it was overwhelming. And actually, see, Milesur, if I tell you a little bit about it, it was the second of a trilogy that we did for Doordarshan.
Okay.
We started with Spread the Light of Freedom, which was all sports stars. The brief was simple. I was told by them in the government and in Doordarshan, in Lok Sabha Sanchar those days,
Hmm.
and India was just breaking out into globalization,
Okay.
into liberalization.
Okay.
So they told us that, make something to make young Indians proud of being Indian. Because you see, what happened was India was always considered third world in those days. And somehow, clubbed together with all these third world countries
Right.
internationally.
Yeah.
So that feeling had to be. So Doordarshan, which was the most watched screen, actually, so to speak, in the country, apart from movies. Day to day, people were watching it, and the only channel.
Yeah.
So it had actually a completely captive audience. So when we got this brief, I came back and brainstormed it with the agency people. My friend Suresh Malik was the creative director there, he was no more. And I thought to myself that sports is a great unifier. And then we made that Freedom Sports film. Those days, of course, no mobiles, there was no, you had to make trunk calls or send faxes.
Yeah.
Not even faxes, you had to send telexes.
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
contacted people with letters and stuff, and we dedicated 1 month to shooting that.
Okay.
And we did it. What I think one trick that worked in that was fantastic. Of course, seeing all these faces together,
Hmm.
stalwarts of the time.
Yeah.
Kapil was there, then Sunil was there, Gavaskar, and all PT Usha was there. If you look at that, and I thought, okay, now it's one more assignment as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But the response came back so overwhelming.
Yeah.
I thought, man, this is really something, this emotion that we have created. I look back and I think the emotion created by the music, by the last few strains of the national anthem, and by seeing all these people, and Doordarshan and Films Division, which was the government propaganda machine, so to speak, had never really shown anything so creative.
Right.
They like coverages, news, documentary,
Right.
nice, all very nice. They're all in the library there, but never something which was just an idea,
Okay.
one single-minded idea. So from there, they called us the subsequent year to do Melesur. Now here I knew I was on good wicket, but again, like the same procedure to contact people, letters, telexes, trunk calls, and we thought whoever comes within that schedule to shoot, because we had to dedicate 1 month to that. I had to dedicate.
Right.
And as a director, that was really, as a lad film director, it was the busiest time of my life. I had done Liril, I had done Sunsilk, I had done cover ad with Amjad those
Right.
days when Sholay was used. I had done all iconic ads, and I was completely, swamped with work. I
Okay.
was shooting almost every day of my life those days for so many years. And every day, I had to take a couple of days of shoot, and at night I was post producing. So to give up 1 month to do something like this for which we hardly got paid,
Right.
everything was gratis.
Yeah.
You didn't get paid, I didn't get paid. So since everything was gratis, and to do it for a month meant losing a lot of work. But there was some love
Right.
for aid, response, the country, and the kind of overwhelming response that you get, the love you get for this, that I just had to do it.
Right.
So in that 1 month, we said what was available and wherever they're available. Of course, it meant shooting all over the country because we couldn't really fly people around. In any case, the concepts, both the concepts, all the concepts we were doing, I wanted to showcase the country because whatever travel I'd done for my ads as well and otherwise in life in India, I used to just love India. I used to love the diversity of even the landscapes, the people, Kerala, Kashmir. See the differences from right from Kanyakumari
Right.
and on the east. So we thought, we get people from all over.
Oh,
And the other thing is that all ads those days, and even till today, many of them are dubbed in about 14 languages. So even that process came to us naturally, came to me naturally, being from advertising. Would get the, I got these lyrics done for Milesur and taken the tune to Bhimsen Joshi.
Right.
Bhimsen Joshi ji said, not the tune, sorry, the lyrics. I said, I'll create the tune on Rag Bhairavi. Now he agreed to do it again because he knew of my dad, he had heard of me, and he had seen the success of the earlier film. Gratis, he did it. He was a top star in classical vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, I remember, about a month later, and he recorded for 45 minutes in the studio, which I had to cut down to 45 seconds, literally. But you know how classical singers are, they improvise and everything.
Right.
So, anyway, basically getting that done in languages was the first step, then making sure that all the languages were poetic enough, which was the second step. And thirdly, the people who were composing the languages, the music directors, this guy, there was Louis Banks to put the Western stuff and everything together, the choruses. There was a guy called Vaidyanathan, who's no more, he was an ace violinist, who did all the regional stuff. And Bal Murali Krishna from Tamil was a top guy in music, had to do it in Carnatic style. So I had to share that piece of music with everybody all around so that they would give it to me on the same key. So we were really shooting with different pieces of music in different languages and going to the state. Sometimes it was just a mahout on an elephant, and sometimes it was a star. Sometimes it was a citizen, sometimes a singer. Sometimes I'd pick up just somebody off the street.
Right.
But there was a deadline also of 15th August, so we had to get it done.
Right.
So we put that together, and really the film came together in the recording studio. Louis Banks did a great job of stitching it together, putting bridges, putting choruses, and everything else, And then, of course, editing it in such a way that it came across seamless.
Yeah. So I want
So I
to
think
also, sorry.
that was the process of the film.
Right.
That's how,
Oh.
that film took my career on, and can you imagine we're still talking about it
Right.
today?
Yeah. Till today. Yeah.
Years old.
So many years.
I would imagine that there have been many other similar films later, well made, but I think there's a magic to doing something the first time.
Right.
Doing it, for a captive audience and, having the frequency to back it up, which of course Doordarshan had. And all these factors worked very greatly in our favor. And the emotion. I feel that everything that we create must create an emotion, a feeling. Anything, a feeling of well-being, a feeling of love, or a feeling of, wow, look at how beautiful that is. That feeling, unless you get, intellectually, nothing is memorable.
Right.
But, feelings people live with, the audience.
So I want to know, you've seen, advertising from generation to generation now, especially in today's time. Do you think somewhere, the advertisement world has lost its soul and emotion, chasing virality?
I think so, because see, what's happening is, first of all, there's too much of a clutter.
Yeah.
On internet, on TV, everywhere you go, there's advertising on the street. I'm not saying the ideas are bad. All ideas are good.
Right.
But the clutter is so much that even if you do something brilliant, life is such today in this fast-paced world, you just get 10 seconds of fame. That's what they say. And I was lucky to be around at a time when people were looking and noticing advertising. They were looking forward to commercials in the break because they enjoyed them. But that's just one factor. The second factor is that I look at what offers we get now for commercials. First of all, everything is an endorsement, 99%.
Right.
A cricket star or movie star, which is not bad, it's great. But there has to be an idea to back it up.
Right.
But then what is happening is people who are busy, celebrities who are endorsing a lot, they just literally have 4 hours in the day to do your work.
Yeah.
I mean, I compare that to a time when I shot with Akshay Kumar for a Red and White, a cigarette ad,
Hmm.
because there were a lot of those days.
Yeah.
He was so keen that it come out terrific that he told me that, I'll give you any time you want. And I shot literally 15 days. It was an action kind of ad.
Okay.
So today the process is that you shoot on green screen, simplify the matter, shoot what you can in that time with the star, and then shoot everything else around him. So I think a little bit of creativity suffers. Even the ideas are less complicated. I
Right.
used to look forward those days to going on location and shooting, where
Right.
the, one family, the
Mhm.
actor and the cast becomes a family. I've done so many, beautiful fashion ads like that in Rajasthan,
Okay.
which I love
Yeah.
as a location, in Kashmir, with actors, with the crew, with even the creative agency, whoever comes along. And, it's been all that is the best work you get
Right.
without people looking over your shoulder.
Right.
And the third factor I feel which doesn't help much is the time restriction, the clutter. It doesn't help much is that there's so much money at stake,
Yeah.
not only in production, but in release of the ads, in what is going to be the consequence of this advertising campaign. I know will it create sales? There's so much required of it that everybody is paranoid about their jobs, I would say, especially in that corporate world. So, what is happening is before you shoot, they want to know exactly what your plan is.
Right.
Show me each frame, show me this, show me that. What is the idea of doing that? Do it like this. So, everybody from the agency to the top of the client will ask you that in meetings, multiple meetings called pre production meetings.
Right.
So today, the filmmaker, very few filmmakers get the chance to have a free hand and do what they want. Then they'll tell you add some value,
Yeah.
but very little room is left to add value.
Right. Okay.
It has
So,
to be a slightly idea.
so you've always imbibed the Indian culture. You've always taken unity into work, and especially being the son of the soil. If today I have to ask you, what does India mean to you visually and emotionally?
Look, I love India. I mean, emotionally, I love it because it's a great, big, beautiful country. And, maybe it moves along at its own pace. Some people think that it's not, but, and the way it's developing, it's amazing.
Right.
So I've really enjoyed doing all the work I've done for India. Till as recently as Har Ghar Tiranga, the campaign for
Yeah.
this for Modi ji, which I did for the Ministry of Culture, which I think till today is going strong. Created a huge wave of flags being waved all over. That film was really appreciated. I love the diversity of the food, the people. I love the diversity of the cultures.
Right.
And there's hospitality, there's love. Of course, there are negatives everywhere,
Right.
but still, I think we are in a great place
Okay.
today. So I really love this country. We like to travel, we go abroad and everything. I take my family, but it's always home that I love. And I guess because one is born here and I grew up here in this city and, whatever, while traveling when I was young or whatever. So I think that itself is just home. It's
Right.
beautiful.
So, if you had to give a message, especially to the youth of our country, the new generation, and what is the kind of message who want to pursue their careers into advertising? They want to, become creative geniuses like yourself. So, what is that one message you'd like to tell all the people, the viewers, and especially the youth of the country, from your side?
Well, I think a lot of young people are doing great work, to tell you honestly, and they're expressing themselves. And I think that is the message that express yourself. Don't try and do something which you see should be a success because somebody else has done it. Express yourself well, and you will be noticed. And the other thing I find today in advertising and in films is that a lot more of the work is now Indian.
Right.
Films are being shot, you know, really deep in the country,
Yeah.
in small towns and villages. Stories are created in those places.
Yeah.
And that whole, because people from there have evolved into creativity.
Right.
Like it's not just city people. I think there was a time when filmmaking was only accessible for of elite few. Either you got a job in the industry and you work like mad as assistant, or you got into a film institute, which costs money and very few get in,
Right.
considering the number of applicants
Right.
in India. But today, I think the youth of the deep into the country, I'm talking of villages, small towns, everywhere, all over.
Yeah.
They have imbibed with media, with mass media, and by looking at the internet and everything, so much knowledge and so much culture that they're out there expressing themselves with their local background backing them, where they come from. And so I think is itself a great success.
Right.
The rest is creativity comes from within. You can learn with observation. You can learn by watching films.
Yeah.
You can learn by observing people. But I think when you put something out and share it with the rest of the world, that to put it in a way where it attracts attention, it has to come from within.
Right.
And I think that is something most people are creative in their own way, and
Yeah.
as a filmmaker, express that. Don't ever try to do something that someone else has done.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to take you to a fun segment. This is a rapid fire round. These are just going to be quick answers from your side to just know you more personally. So to begin with, my first quick question would be, sir, you've done so many commercials. Who's been your favorite model or actor for any of your commercials? If you had to name one.
Well, I think my wife, Aarti, I shot with her first commercial,
Okay.
which was Sunsilk, and then shot many, many more after that.
Okay.
So that's
So what is that one current read which you're enjoying to read? You know, one of your current favorite books which you're really enjoying to read currently.
well, I'm reading a lot of, I've read a lot of non-fiction and have been reading a lot of fiction as well, but fiction more in the sense of telling stories. I'm reading something now called Blue Zones.
Okay.
I just got my hands on, and I think it's very interesting to see what are the places in the world where people are Centaurians, where they are actually concentrated,
Okay.
and why.
So if someone had to play your biopic in today's current generation of actors, who do you think would, fit the role the most?
If there was a,
If today your biopic was made, who do you think from the current generation of actors would fit your role the best?
I mean, my life is not so dramatic that there's a biopic to be made, but why not?
But and who
Maybe
do you
there's,
think
there's
which actor would play really well?
maybe I could create some drama today. Actor, who would imitate me well, or not imitate, but imbibe my soul well, is my old friend Salman,
Okay.
because he knows me inside out.
Okay.
I've shot his first film, and he's been friends with me ever since. In fact, I just met him at Albas's birthday a
Okay.
couple of days ago.
Okay.
And though we meet maybe a few times a year, not too often,
Okay.
but I think because of the time he spent with me when he was young,
Right.
he knows me inside out.
Yeah, and in fact, when I had the chat with Aarti also, she was the one who found him, in terms of this entertainment industry, and today he's become such a big icon, and so many people look up to him in terms of his work, his personality, his aura. So, it's such a proud feeling as well, to see something.
Proud of him. Proud of him.
Right,
I mean, Aarti tells the story better,
right,
but Salim Saab was her dad's friend. Her dad is no more.
right,
And her dad was in charge of a place called the Playmate Club in the Sea Hotel.
right.
And that used to be a sports club with lots of swimming, squash, tennis. Salman, before the age of, I met him when he was 15.
Okay.
I'm about 10 years older.
Yeah,
And at the age of 15, he was already a champion swimmer. He was working out.
Okay.
And he was very naughty, very mischievous. I liked his spirit very much.
Right.
So, of course, he was showing off because he knew Adi had come to the hotel to check him out, you know.
Yeah.
So he did a dive first, swam underwater and all,
Okay.
pretending he had noticed her. So she rang me up and she said, you know, call him over. He's perfect for it. We were shooting Capacola. We needed underwater swimmers and we needed good swimmers with, you know, for the beach.
Okay. Right.
When he came, I thought this guy's too is a kid
Right.
because everybody else was, you know, and also a bit short.
Right.
Everybody else was 6 feet tall and all stalwarts, you know. The models were all like dynamic looking,
Right.
but he overshadowed. It's fantastic.
So what is that one song which you probably hum to or go to when you're having a stressful day?
I'm very fond of, I don't know, my taste in music is very diverse.
Okay.
When I work out in the gym, I've got 200 playlists. I've
Okay.
listened to old rock because that's when I grew up,
Right.
the Beatles and all the rock. And I listen to strangely, you know, Sufi, my dad's songs sometimes. My dad has sung so many songs. And I grew up listening to them when he was doing Riyaz at home. Nobody knows them, but I made a list. I found them on YouTube and here and there. I made a playlist, and just hearing his voice is a great inspiration.
Right.
Then I hear, of course, current hits from the Hindi films from the good old days of music from 60s and 70s, and even now, Arijit, everybody. So I just love music.
Right. Uh,
One song.
okay. So I just want to also ask you, in probably back then, where in your time we had like models used to shoot for advertisements. But today's time, I see a lot of influencers being replaced. Models are being replaced by influencers, fashion influencers, music influencers, and different category and so on. What do you have to say about this kind of a change?
Well, it's change with the trend, you know, change with the times.
Right.
I mean, you're an influencer.
Yeah.
You have a good following.
Yeah.
And you should be doing commercials because, you know, there's so many people who follow you and they know you.
Right.
So, I mean, today, if you said something in a show like this casually, or even if you picked up a drink and had a sip,
Yeah.
it would make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I mean, the viewership would be immense.
Right.
After all, what is advertising about? It's all about eyeballs, about viewership.
Right.
You know, so I think it's fantastic. So
Right.
there are endorsements by the actual stars from sports, from the movies, from TV, and there are influencers. But I find today the influencer trend has become much more.
Yeah.
And the way it's being used is very clever.
Right.
You know, it's being used as, apart from direct endorsements and commercials, A, they have already a platform with a following, and B, they sometimes it's put in very subtly. And it's a worldwide phenomenon. I
Right.
mean, if you look at this movie F1,
Yeah.
you know, they've got Tag over there, Hoyer which is obviously a big funder in that movie.
Right.
And it comes relevant to the whole visual, to the whole setup, because timing is all about F1 races.
Right.
Comes relevant and is highlighted without going, you know, over the top.
So, thank you, sir. So that comes to my last question. It was such a lovely time chatting with you and having this quick chat in this episode. You
Well,
were inspiration for so many people. In fact, I'm feeling really inspired by your journey also, just chatting with you and having this moment with you. So, thank you once again, sir, for giving the time and doing this candid chat with me. And hopefully, whenever I'm in Bombay, hope to see you and Aarti soon,
yeah,
and it'll be nice to meet up, and because we have a lot of mutual friends as well, so it'll be nice to meet up with you, sir.
yes. So please let me know whenever you're here.
Right.
And whenever we are in Delhi, we'll drop by. I was in Delhi just a few days ago.
Okay.
You know, Rohit Bal was his
Yeah,
family and a
yeah.
great friend.
Right. Right.
Came
So,
for a show. I even walked the ramp in the previous show.
okay.
So, and I've even done a film for Rohit, you know, in his memory,
Okay.
which we had to do, unfortunately, posthumously. But because I had footage of his over the years, I did a couple of shoots with him and unused footage of his.
Right.
fitted in so well with that, and it really brought a lot of tears in the audience.
Right.
Again, it's about emotion.
Yeah.
So, my son, who's now a filmmaker
Okay.
and went to school in America, but came back and started making. He's doing a lot of ads with influencers, by the way.
Oh, okay.
We get together. He's just shooting something now with 3 or 4 top influencers.
Okay.
Interesting scripts. So he works for our production company here.
Okay.
We back it up with whatever creativity we have,
Right. So,
you know, and make sure he's making something great.
right.
But
Thank,
we got together, we edited this film for,
right.
it was all footage from his shows and what we had. And I think it had a lovely appeal. I'll share that with you.
Okay.
Haven't you?
So thank you once again, sir, for giving the time and doing this candid chat with me. I'm feeling truly overwhelmed and hope to see you on the other side really soon.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for having me. And for all the listeners to listening to me, thank you very much. I love to share whatever knowledge I've gained and whatever experience I've gained. And I hope that, by sharing it, I can take somebody a few steps further. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.